What's the difference between local content and national content as we get into this?
Precisely, most of the time it depends on where you're talking from. Most countries use local content, precisely talking about the locals in the country where they are operating from. In Uganda, in Alo, we decided to use national content because even basing on the IFC performance standards, Uganda was classified not to have local communities, but looking at all Ugandans the same way. So, but these terms, they are used interchangeably because they all look at the same factors. But in Uganda, we are interested like in having local content, which is talking about the Albertine Graben, people in Bunyoro, Bulisa, and the other areas. But in Uganda, we basically talk about national content, not local content. Precisely what the law says, that where a service cannot be provided by a Ugandan company, it should be provided through a joint venture partnership where a Ugandan company owns 48%.
The definition of low content is very important because not every company registered in Uganda provides a low content, because one can just be a commission agent without having a shareholding. In some countries, you could even be requested in terms of your home, the principal, which is the capital of a company. That means where do the profits go? In some countries, you do it looking at how much do you plow back. So where you can get the profit of a country and say at least 30% or 48% is plowed back in the country. But the other aspect of low content can be in terms of the supplies. How much supplies are got from the country? It can also be in terms of contractors. You don't have to have a big company doing the capital-intensive, high-technology work, but you can outsource from local companies the other works amounting. So the 48% can be broken down in terms of materials, in terms of supplies, in terms of human resource, and in terms of subcontracting. So that can be broken down at that level. So what's important is really the will to enforce that. And again, the other aspect of the question of capacity I raised earlier, if there is will to build the capacity in terms of the local companies, in terms of the local suppliers and the local contractors, contracts can be given with a deliberate effort of building capacity, and then you say, these will be the required standards. Because you can't say the companies, for example, which started working with this industry 10 years ago, when there was no competition, when there was no competitive bidding, have used the contracts and the payment from recoverable costs to get the standards, and are now waiving the standards they have acquired through that exclusive process to block those who did not get the chance. I think that would not be fair. So there must be a deliberate conscious effort to build the capacity by enabling. This can be done for host communities. This can be done for sectors, because we wouldn't want an event. And I also don't want us to discuss this purely for oil. When we are discussing low content, we should discuss low content, including the road building, including the housing aspect, because the oil money is going to be targeted under PPPs, which are commercial borrowing, to finance all these other activities in the NDP2. You know, the next year we're entering the NDP2. And it would be unfortunate to have all this work done by Chinese companies, by foreign companies, and at the end of the day, you don't have even a single Ugandan company which can maintain the road, because it will have been done by a foreign company and will have gone. A housing company, so it's important, even the railway maintenance. So it's important that as we look at low content for the oil and gas, we should also be mindful of the bigger picture of building the national construction company, national railway company, national engineering companies, using this very oil finite resource.
You could find a company 100% owned by a Ugandan, but all the employees, maybe 99% employees, are foreign. One of those sectors is the transportation and logistics. You find that you give a contract to a Ugandan company, but the drivers they have are Kenyan or Somalis. The people who are dealing with clearance and all those things are recruited from Kenya or another country. So to me, participation and ownership are completely two different things. And my thinking is that the 48% should actually be participation, not ownership.